What's goody, man? Back with another video, man. A prime week has been priming. Yes, man, I'm almost through this prime. It was 2 weeks. I completed last week. I ain't even gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? To all my Amazonians, and you know what I'm saying, I mean, all my go-getter Amazonians, I salute y'all. The ones who've been putting in them 55 hours. You know what I'm saying? I really salute y'all, because I ain't gonna lie, your boy, maybe if I disciplined myself, I probably would have done it and could have done it. I'm not saying that I couldn't, or, you know, but my ass wasn't. My ass wasn't. Nope. I gave they ass, 48 hours last week. And I only got one more final day to complete for Prime. I got to come back Friday, because my normal schedule is Sunday through Wednesday. I work 6 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. But of course, during Prime, you know, they want you here from 6 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. Plus, they add an extra 11 and a half hour shift, which is called SET. But, you know, it's really known as mandatory extra time. You know, for those who know, they know. But before we get deeper into this video, and excuse me, you guys, I'm kind of a little bit tired or whatever. I'm off of like 4.5 hours of sleep, and I still made it to work. You know what I'm saying? Clocked out a little early because I just had enough. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But I just want to salute the homie Zale216. You know what I'm saying? Also known as Z216. Get right or get wrong. You know, I fuck with the slogan, man. I want to salute him for reposting my video and liking and sharing and commenting. You know, I rock with the homie for sure. I'm just not learning this YouTube stuff, so I want to be able to share some of his videos. Maybe I'm gonna chop it up with him to be able to see how maybe he can teach me some stuff, and I'll be able to repost his videos on my page, because he definitely reposted my last video on his page, and that's real. You know, support me free, man. You know, it ain't cost him no money. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really probably cost him that much time. He ain't even have to really do that, but he did it anyway. So that's one thing we need to do. You know what I'm saying? Us brothers need to stick together. Us people, you know, need to stick together. Not all people, but I mean, if we could, that'd be great. You know, we all want to get along and be able to support each other. But, you know, definitely people that's rocking how we rocking. You know, Amazonia trying to get to the bag and trying to survive and just trying to stay positive and, you know, do our thing. So, once again, you know, shout out to the homie Zale. Go ahead, check out his page. I'll try to, you know, link his description or whatever in the video if I can. If not, all you got to do is look up Z216. His old page had got knocked down, so he was under Zale216, but now it's under Z216. That's ZEE216 all together, you know, one word type shit or whatever. And go check him out, man. But oh yeah, so, you know, back to the initial conversation. Finally, almost over with this prime. Only got one more day left. I'm glad I made it through it, and I'm glad that I ain't in the negatives of my UPT. I got some vacation time, and I got a little bit of flexible. So, you know, I ain't got a whole bunch of time, but, you know, I got just enough to be able to, you know, if I want to leave early or get to work late type stuff, or, you know, anything like that, I'll be able to jug like that and still have a job. So for those who know. But if you want to know, you know what I'm saying, this is what this video is about, you know. So I hope everybody that's been ordering off of Amazon is getting their packages safe and stuff like that. I hope everybody is enjoying their sales and enjoying their holidays. And to all the Amazonians, that's been working, these hours, I hope everybody is getting to the bag, one, and then having having a good time while doing it. Because lately that's just been my mindset. I try to have fun at work, whether I crack a joke or just find something to laugh about, or I try to, even when I'm mad or get irritated, I'm gonna just try to keep a smile on my face at the end of the day, think positive, but yeah, so I have a lot to talk about, but like I said, I'm new to this YouTube stuff, and I don't want to drown y'all out with a whole bunch of, crazy information. But for those who know, man, Amazon Fulfillment Center is not for the weak. It is not for the weak. You definitely got to be kind of strong-minded and strong-willed, and you definitely got to be able to, have that discipline. I think that's the key to if you're going to be, want to work for Amazon. And don't be lazy. I ain't going to lie, like me, I don't consider myself a lazy ass person, but I am a lazy person. Like, if it was up to me, I'd rather, sit on my ass all day, chill and make a bag, an easier way. But of course, that's not the way it is, I come from the streets. I used to hustle and everything, but we know that, that don't really always, pan out the right way in the justice system. So you may end up getting locked up, or you may end up losing everything, or you might end up losing your life. You feel me? So, this is the best way to rock out. Get you a little decent job, paying a decent wage. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you go work, but the hardest thing to me about this job for real, now since I've been here for about like a year or 6 months, it's really just getting here and being on your feet, and doing the hours, but for the most part, the work itself is easy, you try to hit your rate, but once practice make perfect. The more you do stuff and get comfortable with it, it's like riding a bike for real, it'll come to you naturally, Now, some people are faster than others. I ain't saying you gotta be extremely, extremely fast, but try to be good and comfortable with what you do, and just, try to hit them numbers and run them numbers up. Because that's what it's all about, with Amazon. It's all about, are you productive? Can you produce? Other than that, you gonna be useless to them. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, so, yeah, Prime, man, shit. It's like a mini peak season, so, if you can't do 2 weeks of this, don't even think, if you can't do Prime, you can't make it through Prime, you darn sure ain't gonna make it through peak season. Because peak season, that's for the big dogs, like, you talking about 55-hour weeks for, let me see, so November, December, yeah, you got about 2.5 months of that shit, really, like, real talk. So for those of you who don't have no time, no vacation, for one, you can't use vacation time, and then if you've been using all your flexible, then you only have UPT, which right now is the time, like after Prime, you know what I'm saying? Start coming to work on time and staying your whole shift, and you get 5 minutes per hour. So if you do a 10-hour shift, so that's each day, that's 50 minutes each day. So we'll say you got 40 hours in a week. So what's that, 50 times 4? You see what I'm saying? So that's how your time accumulates. So say for it's during peak, say for you don't want to stay to 5:30, you could leave, an hour early, and it really won't, affect your time. Or you could come an hour, late or whatever, and it might not affect your time too much, Now, as far as taking whole days off or whatever, real hustlers we might leave early and come late, but we ain't really taking no whole days off, you know what I'm saying? But, anything might happen, you get sick or whatever. I mean, it's different ways. You can either use your, if you can use flexible, or you can use UPT. But if you don't have neither of those times, you kind of just fucked. Or, of course, worst case scenario, push come to shove, you might have to get that good old doctor's note or take a leave of absence type stuff. But either way it goes, it's best to maintain your time, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to touch bases with y'all a little bit. I don't want to go into deep detail as far as like what Prime has done for me, but I ain't gonna lie, I did enjoy this last paycheck. I definitely seen them extra, them couple extra $100, you know what I'm saying, definitely came into play, you know what I'm saying. Sorry, my eye was itching on. But yeah, so I got another week of that coming, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, so yeah. So Prime been priming, made it through. Like I said, I just got one more night to complete. Then of course, I'm back to my regular schedule, Sunday through Wednesday. So, my SET day is Friday. So I get one day, then I gotta come back in, then I get another day, then I gotta do a straight 4. Then after that, everything could go back to normal. So I'm probably gonna use that time to, recuperate my mind, try to enjoy myself, or even, treat myself to something, like take myself out to dinner or something, you know what I'm saying? Just do something different, you know what I'm saying? Also, big surprise for y'all. Y'all know that I'm just not a YouTuber, a regular YouTuber. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I work for Amazon Fulfillment Center. I'm also an artist. I sing, I rap, I make beats, you know what I'm saying? And I do my own audio engineering. So, feel free to check out some of my music, man, and I got new music that I'm currently working on right now, you know what I'm saying? So, I am in mixtape / album mode as we speak, you know what I mean? So, be on the lookout for the next project, And I'm also about to be working on getting my LLCs and all this, and I'm about to get my brand and all this together. So Amazon is definitely, doing some, working some wonders for your boy, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna keep going too much. For one, shout out to Zell216. Shout out to yourself. Shout out to me, you know what I'm saying? And I talk to y'all later, and I'm out.